Just getting started on Meager Valley. Looking for a base to call home? Well, in today's video, I'm going to show you some of the best options for bases, mods, and more. Meager Valley has fast become one of my favorite maps here, tied closely with Cascade Hills. And as such, I have spent a ton of time in a bunch of the bases and learned it quite well. And I want to pass on that information to you. We're going to go over some of the best bases, depending on what you want to spend on influence, depending on how you want to play the game. We'll talk briefly about that. And I'm going to show you some of my best mods that I make use of to make this game that much more enjoyable. We're going to start with the police station. That's right, it is located at the top of your map. Not the best location, but not the worst. It's going to cost you 1,000 influence and 5 survivors to get into this. Isn't overall too bad. If you are just moving here, you will already have those survivors, I'm sure. If you're just starting out, well, 1,000 influence isn't that hard to get, and really picking up a group of survivors at the beginning of a game is pretty easy. It is largely defensible. As you can see up on this rooftop, your survivors will hang out, take their snipe shots, and help keep things under control. There are 2 large slots that come to this base, and that is definitely a selling point. However, there are a few things that we need to touch base on. This base comes equipped with cells. Now, those cells act as beds. With an upgrade, you will not get the penalty for morale. However, you're kind of stuck with them. It does also come with an armory. Now, this is a nice option. It's useful. However, everything in this room you can add to your base simply with a mod by adding an ammo press to any of your facilities. Now, if you are just getting started in the game, this is a viable option. However, if you are already established in the game and you were looking for longevity, this might not be the base for you, but it is a good base nonetheless. Camp Killenquaw. I hope I said that right. Now, this isn't a bad option. It is a very large base. It's located, as you can see, on the left side of the map here. It's going to cost you 1,000 influence. You will need 5 survivors to get into this base. You start with 2 large slots and 2 small slots, and there are some clearable ones. However, there is also a few that you cannot clear, and that could be considered good and bad. We'll talk about that in a sec. However, look at the sheer size of this base. That itself can be a bonus. However, I found during my stay here that I had zombies popping all over the place in the back 40, if you will, of this lot. So, good and bad. You know, it's a lot of space, but it's also a lot of space to defend. As you can see, there's all kinds of holes in the wall. I had vehicles parked up along most of them, and it really did hinder the zombies' approach and where they would come through. We were able to funnel them, but it really is a large base with a lot of unused space. Some of the built-in features are a kitchen, a well, and a bunkhouse. Now, you can't clear the kitchen or the well or the bunkhouse. However, you don't really want to if you move into this space. The well is kind of a wasted slot if you have the builder's boon, if you have water elsewhere. However, it is a nice option to have for the price of this influence. As you can see, there is room to grow. There is room for expansion. Would I call this one of the best bases? No, but it is a viable base for the price of the influence and the fact that you only need 5 survivors to move in. Whitney Field. This is by far the largest base on Meager Valley, and many people seem to really like this one. As you can see, it is unfortunately located at the very bottom of the map, but there is a lot of stuff happening down here. And for 3,500 influence and 8 survivors, this could be your new pad. Now, there are some built-in facilities that you do not have the option to clear, and we're going to take a look at those very quickly. One of which is the announcer's box. You will have 2 options if you choose to use the announcer's box, one of which will draw in the zombies. The other is white noise. Now, if you use white noise, you will have a morale penalty. If you draw in the zombies, your base will get attacked. It's kind of a fun feature. Next, we have the fortified bleachers. These as well cannot be removed, but they will supply you with a certain level of defense. As you can see, your survivors will post up on here and take out any incoming threats, as long as you have them armed with rifles, of course. Now, it is on both sides, and it is a great way to help secure your base. However, as I mentioned, you cannot clear it. A downside to these bleachers is that it will cost you minus a 1 ammo per day. Now the base does come with 3 large slots to work with, so you can imagine juggling that around what you could do. I mean, the possibilities are endless. This is a very solid base. I would say that you would compare it to, I mean, obviously with the tier that it's in, the container fort, say on Cascade Hills. However, for 3,500 and needing that many survivors and not having the self-sustainability, is it worth it? I spent some time here and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And just having this room for expansion added something to the game that the other bases just simply didn't have. I do recommend checking it out if you want the bigger option. The brewery. I'm not even going to try and say that one probably, my friends, but this is by far my personal choice of best base here on Meager Valley. This base has so many features that make survival for longevity such a breeze. For 1,500 influence and 5 survivors, you can move into this base, which as you can see is centrally located here on the map. Makes it handy for getting around as you can cross the rivers as you please. And based on the location, this is definitely one you'll want to look at. It comes with 2 large slots, but that's not the beauty of this base. This base has something unique that none of the other bases have. It comes with 2 large stills and a tasting room. These stills give you the ability to craft items that you can use to trade for influence. You can craft whiskey, you can craft beer. Keep those running and watch the influence come in. Now, it also has a tasting room. As you can see, there are 2 options for upping your morale, which gives you all kinds of bonuses. This alone makes this base something very worthwhile and my favorite here on Meager Valley. If you'd like to learn more about how I set this base up to last, I have a video that I will have in the comment section linked and pinned. You can check that out and let me know what you guys think. Best mods. Now we're going to talk briefly about some of the best mods in this game that you must absolutely have, and I'm going to show you the few of the ones I have currently on this playthrough. First up, we have the Signal Booster. Say no more, Beard. +2 max outposts. This thing is a beast. Come across this, install it, and never let it go. Then we have the ammo presses. These things are absolutely amazing, my friends. And by adding these to any of the appropriate facilities, you have no need for an armory whatsoever. Now, I typically use one in my workshop, and I uninstall it and add a new one as needed. But it is worth its weight in gold. It will keep you armed up to the teeth. Please note at the time of this recording that the ammo press for the 44 will not actually craft said ammo. It will only craft, for some reason, the 50 cal and the projectile grenades. Then we move on to the CNC mill. This thing is amazing. It will allow you, if installed, to create parts on a much larger scale, and I highly recommend holding on to one of these. Next up is the all-in-one workout system. Add this to a fighting gym or related facility and you will increase your stamina and HP. There are many options to increase your storage. This is a viable one. The food dehydrator gives you +10 to food storage if you have power. The free weights are much like the all-in-one system, except it gives you +10 health. Definitely worth holding on to. The white noise machine is something you can add to a sleeping facility. It adds +10 morale, which is definitely something worth looking at. Now there is also mods that will up your yield on your food production, such as this one right here. There are also mods like, I believe it's called the compost bin. I've given them away trying to help out my community. That with activation, they will also increase your daily yield. Definitely worth looking at, my friends. It will greatly help your food production. Bonus tip. Today's bonus tip is brought to us by Missy Prime. Missy says that before finishing a game, have a friend join your game, invite them in, transfer all of your good stuff, except what you need for your last missions, of course. Then complete your legacy mission and move maps. Now have your friend rejoin with their new save character, return all of your goods, and you're good to go. Missy, that is absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much for posting that. Guys, if you would like to have your tip featured here on the channel, make sure to leave them in the comment section down below as I review them all, answer every single comment, and I can't tell you how much it is appreciated. If you would like to see more videos on the mods as we briefly touched on today, let me know in the comment section down below. If you'd like to have your name in the spotlights here, make sure to leave your best tips in the comment section for a chance at that. I'd like to thank you for taking the time out of your busy day to come and join us here today. If you've enjoyed this, my friends, please hit that like button. Do it with two hands if you gotta. Don't forget to hit the subscribe, tag the little bell if you're new here. And guys, make sure to come join our Discord and join Jaxie Beard's Bearded Army Xbox Club. The links will be down below. Yes, sir.